We have two Jesuses today and two trees. The first Jesus is from the first reading, announced to you as the book of Sirach. So the full name of the author of the book is Yeshua ben Sirach, meaning Jesus, the son of Sirach. And then of course we have Jesus talk in the gospel. So two Jesuses are speaking to us on this Sunday. And these two Jesuses are talking about two trees. Joshua ben Sirach says, "The fruit of a tree shows the care it has had." So Joshua ben Sirach is placing his attention on the care that a tree receives. Jesus, son of Mary, says a good tree brings a good fruit and a bad tree brings bad fruit. So the other Jesus speaks of the essence of the tree, not the nurture, but the nature of the tree. Both have something valid to say, don't they? Joshua ben Sirach says, if you grow a tree and you don't take care of it, you will really not be a successful gardener. Don't expect miracles if you don't water your tree, if you don't bring fresh manure every spring. Don't think that the tree will grow by itself. Now, Jesus, the other Jesus from the gospel says, well, nurture is one thing, but really, can you expect tomato grow on an orange tree? Can you expect good wine coming from some wild bushes? No. A good fruit comes from a good tree. A bad fruit comes from a bad tree. So what is it? The nurture or the nature that are more important in our spiritual life? Is it about how we have been cared for by our parents, priests, nuns, spouses, children? Or is it how we are rotten to the core and hence nothing good can come out of our hands, as Martin Luther once said? If it wasn't for this very bipolar St. Louis weather, I would be gardening by now. Usually by the time March arrives, I'm playing in the dirt in our garden outside the door because it helps me relax. When I get my fingers dirty and play in the mud, somehow it totally takes all the negative energy out of me. And usually by the time March arrives, I buy several of these, rose bushes. I am not a gardener, but thank goodness the knockout roses are very hard to kill. I only succeeded with one out of 27 I've planted so far. So usually by the time of the first week of March, I would have planted 2 or 3 of the new rose bushes around here. But because the winter is behaving like a little bit bipolar person, in and out, in and out, in and out, I haven't had a chance to do it this year yet. But if you ever planted one of these magical, hard to kill rose bushes, you know the process, don't you? Well, if you don't, they tell you right there on the cover. First, you should put the roots of the plant in a bucket of water. So the roots will soak up all the fresh water. Usually, even though it says for 2 to 5 hours, I forget and they stay in a bucket of water for 1 day. Once they are fully watered from the inside out, I dig a hole somewhere in our garden, put some newly purchased dirt at the bottom of the hole, place hard-to-kill rose bush, add more dirt, mixing the old and the new, and then make sure it's solid ground so it won't be wiggling like that every time someone comes by. If I am lucky, I try to buy manure and put some fresh, you know what, around the bush tree to give it nutrients, to make it look beautiful, and to make it grow into a nice big rose bush. And then it grows, some of them more than 10 years by now. Simple process of growing rose bushes. Much easier than growing big trees, like Joshua ben Sirach says, and Jesus, son of Mary, in the Gospel. And yet, the philosophy is basically the same. First, you need to put the roots in the water. And if you use this as a metaphor for your spiritual life, it's all about the baptism. Our spiritual life begins at our baptism. We are immersed in the grace of God, in the love of God. Our journey begins with God's awesome love in this baptismal font or any other font that perhaps you are baptized in. God has placed you in this water to make you alive, to make you aware of God's love, and to help you grow. And then, once we soak up the sacrament and the grace and the love of God, we are placed in holy ground, in the land that is also our family. You know, the church is like a garden in which all kinds of bushes grow, some prettier than the other, but all necessary for us to be a beautiful garden. So you do need to grow in the company of other bushes, of other trees, of other God-planted people in your life. Now, of course, when you are grown up and you seek for a healthy church, for a healthy family, for a healthy relationship, you need to discern, where should I plant my roots? Is this church good for me? Is this community healthy for my soul? Now, I know I am grieving with my siblings and friends from the United Methodist Church this week, who've been told that some of them don't belong, that some of them cannot get married. And I know at least 2 of my friends who are asking themselves, is this a holy garden for me? But you can also ask yourself about your personal relationships. Is this person good for you? Is this relationship nurturing you? Or is it too toxic, poisoning your roots? And then if everything goes well and your gardener has access to fresh manure, forgive me, shit happens in life. I gave one sermon fully dedicated to this subject a number of years ago. We need manure in our life. It's not pleasant, it smells terribly, it probably makes you cry, and you complain when it happens, but perhaps, just perhaps, it is God's way of nurturing you, of helping you grow stronger, deeper roots when all these things happen in your life, when all these things hit the proverbial fan right in your face. It's not pleasant, but it has purpose in the garden of God's love. And then you grow, and you bloom, and people walk by you, smell you, admire you, perhaps grab an orange or grape off your beautiful bush or vine, and you are an integral part of God's beautiful garden. It takes both. It takes both nature and nurture to have a beautiful church, to have a beautiful relationship with your spouse, with your boyfriend or girlfriend. It takes both to have a beautiful and fruitful life. The good thing is that none of you is a bad tree. Martin Luther said many good things, but that one he was wrong about. None of you is a bad tree that brings only bad fruits. When God created the first human being, God saw it was very good. Not only good, but very good. Each one of you is a very good tree called to bring forth very good fruits. Your DNA is the same as God's DNA. In the image of likeness of God, you and I have been made. So you are much better than those knockout roses that are hard to kill. You are precious in God's eyes. And God is nurturing you throughout your life by planting you in the holy garden of the church, by giving you people who will sometimes put fresh manure in your life and help you grow and bloom. And if you are able to share the fruits of your spiritual life with your family, with your spouse, what the heck, even with the strangers that knock on the door of your heart, you have lived your life the way God has designed it for you. Because our life is all about bringing forth fruit, about giving wine to others who are thirsty, about feeding those who are hungry, about becoming the body and the blood of Christ for others. My friends, let us nurture each other. Let us love each other. Let us feed each other. And when the weather allows, go and get dirty in your own garden as well. Amen.